Hi everyone, thank you for joining today's webinar, Marketing Automation for Realtors, How to Make More Money in Less Time Using KV Core. KV Core, also known as Conversion, is the #1 lead generation, CRM, and automation system. Allison James Estates and Homes has recently partnered with KV Core to provide this amazing product at a low cost to all of our agents. Remember that signing up for KV Core outside of Allison James would cost over $500 per month. We are extremely proud to provide this product at a deeply discounted rate to our agents. For more information about Allison James Estates and Homes, please contact us directly at joinus@ajicorporate.com. I would like to now introduce our speaker, Aubin Dubois with Inside Real Estate, who will be hosting today's webinar. We will also be doing an overview of the product and a Q&A session after the presentation. This is where Aubin will answer any specific questions you have regarding the KV Core platform. Please submit those questions into the questions box on your GoToWebinar panel. And with that being said, I would like to now go ahead and pass it over. Good morning, Aubin.
Hey, Jessica. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me today. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. All right. Hopefully everybody can see that. But again, today we are covering marketing automation for realtors, how to make more money in less time. Today we're going to be covering this section in KV Core, which is titled Marketing Autopilot. This is where our drip campaigns live, some information about search alerts, lead validation, and our KV Core mobile app. As well as the behavioral automation, which is basically kind of the meat and potatoes of what makes KV Core so great. And like Jessica says, the #1, CRM within the industry. So without further ado, again, I want to introduce myself. I am Aubin. I am a customer success manager for Allison James. I'm here to help facilitate any questions and help with coachings throughout the KV Core platform. Again, this is not a training. This is more of a webinar, kind of to demo the KV Core product and to show you what you'll be, what the tools you will have if you sign up with Allison James and partner with KV Core. Once you do sign up for KV Core, you guys will have access to trainings, videos, support. So don't feel too overwhelmed today. Just once you sign up, be on the lookout for those trainings and other support areas that we can help you out at. All right, so without further ado, so what we're covering today is exactly as it sounds, marketing autopilot. Basically, it's automatic. The things that we're going to show you are just happening without you even having to do anything. So basically, Victoria and I were chatting earlier today, and we said, you know what, set it and forget it. So basically, what we're going to show you is how to set up your smart campaigns or your drips, and then forget about it. Watch those leads come in, watch that follow-up happen, and watch the system work for you. So we're going to spend most of our time in the smart campaigns. There's a lot that can go on with these campaigns. And then we're also going to touch on behavioral automation. Again, the search alert, the KV Core mobile dialer, and the lead validation are more of informational tabs. We can click in there a little bit later if you guys want, but they're just informational. And then these two campaigns is where we'll spend most of our time today. So jumping into smart campaigns, you'll see that we have the KV Core library. This is where KV Core and our Inside Real Estate team has tried and true campaigns that we've tested. I think I've heard a couple thousand times on each of these to make sure that these work for you. You get the follow-up that you need for any specific type of campaign. And you'll see we've got here the campaign name, a campaign description, when it starts, what's the trigger for it. Who is it designed for? Is it for sellers, buyers, renters? What channels do we use, such as email, text, call, or even assign a task? How many times are you reaching out to that person, automatically or with a phone call if you need to reach out to them? And then the ability to add them to your own personal library. So I'm going to show you, just pop in here and kind of show you what you can do. So within this KV Core library, again, these are set up for you. So you do not have to change anything. All you have to do is, make sure it's right for you, which is what we're going to do right now, and then add it to your own personal library and turn it on. So I'm going to go into this conversion default seller campaign, and we can see all the touches that are involved with this certain campaign. So you see we've got the title right here. We have the possibility to clone it. Say, hey, I like this one, but I do want to make it my own. So you have that possibility right here. It also gives you a brief summary of what the campaign is for, when it's going to start, what trigger and who it's for, as well as the campaign actions. So we see on, day 5, we got a CMA that's going to go out from the agent to the contact. Day 15, the name of the template is sell or refi. It's going to be an email again from the agent to the contact. And you can see this goes all the way down to day 365, but these are automatic, and they go right from you, from you to the contact without you having to do anything. So it's all set up just right there for you. All you have to do is add it to your library and turn it on. So we can, we kind of saw how that works. We're going to jump back to all the campaigns. While that page is loading, I hope you guys know that, 40% of business in real estate is lost from a lack of follow-up that was once done before. So again, that's 40%. That's a huge number if you guys aren't following up. And what is an easier way than have the system doing it for you? All you need to do is, again, go into the library, pick the campaign that's best for you. We can jump in and see we've got, sellers, lenders, buyers, prospect expireds. They've got a whole range of these already set for you, 3 different pages that go in anywhere from, 7 touches, 6 touches, 42 touches. They can go anywhere from minute 1 or immediately all the way through day 720. So really the campaign possibilities are endless, as long as you kind of feel comfortable with it, and then we can kind of start editing, changing, cloning things, making it more personalized. But again, if you're like, hey, you know what, I trust conversion, I trust KV Core, the team at Inside Real Estate knows what they're doing, being number 1 in the industry, I'm going to trust them. Just add it to your library. And you can see I'm in my dummy account, so I'm going to add this one to my library. You'll see campaign was added. It's going to drop me down to my library. This is where all of my own personal campaigns live. So you'll see we've got the welcome email. It was a copy, so I cloned this one. We've got an additional welcome email, a follow-up campaign, test campaign, a post-close, and then you'll start seeing these locks. So these padlocks mean they are mandated by an administrator or somebody up top at the company or admin level. But you also have the opportunity, and I hope I find one in here, you'll see this padlock is unlocked. So meaning it was set up for you by the administrator within the company or an office, but it is not mandated, meaning you can turn it on or off. But with these closed lock ones, that means they're from the company saying, hey, this is what our company or our team has decided to do, and we're going to make sure that's always on. If you don't see a padlock next to it, that means those are your own campaigns, and you can do anything with those that you'd like. The sky is the limit on those. And I can pop in and kind of show you what's going on there. So let's just click into, we are going to follow up. Again, this is my dummy account, so don't be alarmed if you're thinking, oh boy, this is what KV Core has for me. Nope, no worries. This is just our dummy account that we create and do things all the time in here. So we've got the ability now to edit, clone, or completely remove this entire campaign. A lot of people will go in and add it to their library, and they'll edit, make a few changes to the templates to make it sound, a little more like you, a little more personalized from you, the agent, to your contacts. You also see, a broader summary out here. So start when the follow-up tag is added. Okay, so now we're getting into hashtags, which we will cover a little bit later on in the overview section of this call. But if a hashtag is added, it's basically like a categorization of a lead. It puts them in that specific follow-up tag, meaning, hey, I need to reach out to these people. You can also have hashtags like hot lead or first-time home buyer, or you could make them specific to any landing pages or squeeze pages that you're working on. Really, hashtags are very important as they are triggers for these campaigns, but as well as allows you to email in bulk or text in bulk or do anything with those hashtags that you may need to do. Again, so that was the start win, so that's a trigger for us for this campaign. Who it's for, so this is for our buyers. Is it shared? And we'll kind of go into this in just a little bit. Meaning you want to share this within the company for anybody to use, say, hey, I think this is a really great campaign, and anybody who sees this has the opportunity to use it, edit it, or turn it on and work for them. As well as always run. Always run means that no matter what the campaign is running, which also means that you can have multiple campaigns going at the same time, which is a great thing. And also, kind of be wary. We want to make sure that we fall within those, spamming laws and everything like that. But there's the possibility that you can have multiple campaigns running at the same time. A great example that we use for the always run is if you've got a campaign for a new lead buyer coming in from Zillow. So you've got a campaign that's set for new leads. The second campaign is a new leads buyers. And then your third campaign is a new lead buyer from Zillow. And you'll see that, if you have the, campaign one that was just a new lead set to always run, the second one was the new lead buyer was set to not always run, as well as the new lead buyer from Zillow to not always run. You'll see if it hits that specific campaign, it'll run with that one, but it'll also hit, if it hits any other campaigns that are set to always run, it will run that campaign as well. So you'll see in my brief example, which I might have gone a little bit too fast through, but it'll have that first campaign, which is always run going, as well as the new lead buyer from Zillow campaign running simultaneously. So over here, we've got our campaign actions again. Here now we can have the opportunity to edit, as it is in our personal KV Core library. We can see, we can change the name of it. We can pick a new template that we want to email, text, or whatever we want it to happen. You can also view it right from here. Okay, so this is what's going out. Hey, I've been trying to reach you the past several weeks. Just wanted to see if you're in the market for a mortgage. So you can say, hey, that does work for me, or it doesn't. And you can go ahead and change these templates in the next tab, and I can show you guys in just a few. Okay, I'm good with that. And you can change who it's from. Is it from the agent, from the lender, or from the system? And who is it going to? The agent, the lender, or the contact? And then you'll see this run immediately. That means as soon as that lead comes in and hits that specific hashtag, again, we've got the follow-up hashtag on this specific campaign. As soon as that hashtag gets added, we've got this follow-up one sending out immediately. Again, you can also change it to minutes, hours, or days. Again, we've got immediately all the way down to 720 days. And then you can also select, how many. What's the time value on it, and we can set it as much as you want. So again, minutes is only going to be 60, and days, you can see we've got it'll go all the way down to 720. So I'm good with that one, so I'm going to leave it. You can also check this one. So we've got minute 1, we've got follow-up 2 going from the agent to the contact. And minute 2, we've got call this dude as a task from the system is saying, hey, agent, you got to call this guy. You can also add additional actions right from here once it's in your own personal library. If you click add action, you can do an email, call, a text message, do a task, add a tag, or change the status. This is really important if you are working with somebody and they're currently in the new lead or even active lead status. And you can say, hey, once they've responded to me as a new lead, I want them to go into the active lead status. So you can assign that trigger right here and add that action. All right, and like we talked about, there are those templates that we can change. So you can't just freeform type it in your, when you're editing, but you can remember, hey, default lender follow-up 1. I want to go ahead and change that one. So you'll hop over to this tab in the template section. And then we'll have a bunch of different options. Again, email, text message, call, or a task. Again, the system cannot make those calls for you, but it will assign you those calls. So you don't have to, scroll through your tasks, scroll through your leads, say, hey, who am I supposed to call today? The system's already going to show you that up right on your dashboard, right on that first screen when you log in. So there's really no need to dive in, get too crazy, and kind of come up with your own if you don't want to. All right, so we can look and say, hey, post call email 1. I want to clone that one, and that will allow you to edit. You can also, as many as you want. Looks like we've got 5 pages of different things here. But again, we've got edit, clone, or delete. And there's options there. But you can also do add a template. So you can start from scratch and say, hey, I want to do this text message. And I'm going to add the template, hello, kind of as a welcome. And I'm going to set this for I'm logged in currently as John Robinson. And the contact can be hello. And then we have this fancy trick where if you click those brackets, you can type first name, close those brackets. Thanks for checking out my site. Are you free for a brief showing this weekend? Or, what kind of homes are you interested in? Would you like me to set you up on search alerts for properties in your area? Whatever you'd like it to say, you've got the ability to kind of freeform and type whatever you want right here in this template section. So I'm going to close that one. But again, emails, text messages, calls, tasks, whatever you'd like right in this template section. Jumping back to our campaign library, I can show you guys what it looks like to start a campaign and what that looks like. So we are going to add our very own campaign. We're not going to copy anything. We're not going to edit anything. We're going to build it from scratch. So first you want to do is click the Add Campaign button. And it's for me, John Robinson. And what are my triggers when this person comes in? Do I want it when a lead is new, when a lead is transferred to me, when a lead is moved to a hashtag? We also have advanced triggers. So field, if the reply to is sent, okay. Or if the hashtag is, I've got Zillow lead, and we can add an additional advanced, and we want the hashtag is not credit repair. So you see, it can get pretty tricky, pretty sophisticated, but as long as you know what you're doing, you should have no problem kind of, building these out. But again, these are the campaign settings. And we're going to pick that one. So I'm going to do, if it's a Zillow lead, but not on credit repair, and I will click next. And who is this for? And I'm going to say this one is specifically for buyers. And what's my campaign name? Let's see, Zillow lead, no credit repair. Oh, let's see. And a brief description, hashtags, Zillow lead, credit repair, whatever it is. And again, here are those options that I talked about earlier. So the opportunity to share the campaign with everybody. These are currently the defaults, but you can always change them. Say, hey, no, I am not comfortable with sharing these yet. I'm going to keep it at no for now. Again, you can always change these in the future if you'd like. Always run. Set to yes, meaning whenever a campaign hits those specific criteria, it will run. We do want that usually as a yes, as long as it's kind of your basic, your core campaigns that you want going. And then locked. We usually say no, so other people, the default was to share it. No, meaning they can't have the opportunity to edit as well. So I'm going to keep it like that, and then it'll give you a summary of what you're doing. Okay, are you sure you want these campaign settings for the campaign that you're creating? Okay, who does it run for? When does it start? What's the buyer? Campaign name, all the way down to the descriptions we just did. I'm not going to add that as I kind of typed in some gibberish in here, but you can see that it's very simple to create campaign settings. Again, and to add it, it will pop up in here. We can go to a different one if we'd like. We can go to post-close for title and escrow. And when you first create your campaign, you won't have any campaign actions. So all you want to do is add the actions yourself. I will have some pop in here, I believe. But again, you have the opportunity to edit, clone, or completely delete the campaign. The campaign is currently turned off, which is good because we don't have any campaign actions right now. But right here, again, add the action. We want to send an email from the agent to the contact. Which template do we want to use that we've already created or that has been created for us? You know, it's probably not correct, but we can just click one. When do we want it to run? And then just add. And again, you can add as many campaign actions as you would like. There is a bit of a disclaimer. Only 2 immediate campaign actions can happen within the first 20 minutes to an hour. We want to make sure the system gets enough time to do those actions. So again, immediately is only about 2 per hour. All right, jumping back to all of our campaigns, just want to make sure that kind of a brief overview of this. So the KV Core library is where all of KV Core's kind of created campaigns live. You do not need to edit them if you don't want to. It kind of gives you a brief description. You can always click into there, read what the template is about, make sure it fits with your business, and then add it to your library. Once you've added it to your library, then you can click in, edit any text that you would like, find the template, edit the template over here, make sure it works for you, and then make sure the status is turned on. So anytime anybody hits this source is any source, status is a new lead, it will get these 5 touches with this campaign because our status is turned on and it is always running. You can see, just because it's my dummy account, you can also see the performance. How many times have things been sent out? How often is it working? So you've got a good group of details right here. Again, if there is a lock box right here, that means it is mandated by the company or office or team, and you are unable to turn it off or on, but because it is mandated by the company. And then again, if it is a padlock, meaning it was given to you by the company, office, or team, but you can turn it on or off and kind of make that work for you. If you do not see a padlock, that is because you've added it to your campaign library, and you can do whatever you'd like with it. So again, the campaigns can get pretty complicated, pretty sophisticated. You can do anything from adding a hashtag to creating a new campaign to changing a status. The sky is the limit. We also have some support articles about this. If you're like, hey, that sounds interesting, I'm not sure if I'm ready yet, you can read over that, and it can kind of walk you step by step to make sure that you've got a good understanding of these smart campaigns before you go crazy and build your own. But again, you can set it and forget it, make sure it's right for you, turn it on, add the campaign, and you can see all those follow-up calls that you should be making automatically, so you really don't have to do anything. All right, jumping over to our behavioral automation. Again, that is kind of the meat and potatoes of KV Core. Behavioral automation is when a lead is on your subdomain on your website, and you can kind of see the behaviors right here. Lead revisits after 14 days. We've got an automatic email and text that goes out. If a lead visits the site 5 times in a single week, we've got an email and a text that goes out. All the way down to if a lead favorites a property, we've got the emails and texts that can go out for it. We've got these defaults that turn on automatically for you. So if you want it to run for everybody, all you have to do is click the button and say, hey, I want to make sure everybody, I'm getting all these alerts for everybody. I want to know what they're doing. I want to know when they're ready to buy, and I want to be there for them. If you're like, hey, I feel like that's a little bit too much for a bunch of people I'm working with. I only want it to work for my sphere through my active leads. And all you have to do is, leave those on. Over here, we've got send agent alert, meaning it will email you, the system will email you once a lead has revisited after 14 days. Whatever you want it set as, you can turn them on, turn them off. Hey, I'm getting, my leads are favoriting a lot of properties. I do not want emails anymore. Or, hey, I want to make sure that I'm, paying attention to the people that are visiting my site the most or have the most activity. Yes, you will have your activity stream up on your dashboard that you can kind of take a high view at what your leads are doing. But again, this is behavioral alerts, so that they'll get emailed and texted automatically. So an example, if a lead revisits your site after 14 days, here's the email that goes out. It sounds a little more computer automated. That's because we kind of want them to know that the system knows when they're on their site, and it's not necessarily you in particular. So you can see, hey, first name, I'm glad you're able to spend a bit of time on my site again. Looks like you were doing a few different home searches. I'll research your areas and set up some property alerts to keep you on top of the market. Anything specific you are looking for. So these behavioral alerts are just trying to get your leads to communicate with you to make sure that you can, fill their needs, do what they need to do to, kind of gain their business, gain their trust, get in communication with them. And I can also show you a text for the exact same. So, hey, it's kind of a shortened version of the email, but hey, it looks like you are doing a few home searches. I'll research your property alerts and update you anything specific you're looking for. And you'll kind of see these brackets again. This site will pull their first name from their lead, from their contact information, as well as your name, your cell phone, and your site URL. It'll pull from your profile. So I can kind of jump in and explain. We do have a KV Core mobile app. This allows you to call while you're on your cell phone, driving across town, at a brief lunch, just ready to make a few phone calls. You can reach out to people right from there. It is the KV Core mobile app, so it is separate, but it will work with your company. It'll work with the system, so it kind of tracks those calls. It'll log those calls to make sure that you're not forgetting anything, missing any notes, making sure it's tracking when your activity happens, everything like that. Again, it kind of gives you downloads on Google Play or the App Store, but again, these ones are a little more detail-oriented rather than kind of any settings that you need to change. Again, search alerts, this will give you more information on what they are, but you do set those up in the Smart CRM, I'm sure, which we'll cover in just a few minutes after the Q&A. As well as lead validation and kind of how we validate your leads, making sure we kind of scan the system, see if we can get any additional information if they didn't provide a first and last name, if the email is pulled up on any social media sites, anything like that, we'll kind of try and pull information. So it's not necessarily checking to make sure the information is kind of correct per se. It's trying to make sure that, see if that information is used anywhere else throughout the web that we can kind of pull and help you identify these people and what their interests are. All right, so that's kind of the basics of marketing autopilot. Again, there's a lot that goes into those smart campaigns. You can really, the sky's the limit on those. But again, you can also kind of, again, set it and forget it, have the system work for you. The system can be, your best and hardest working employee as long as you set it up correctly and you set it up to fit your business. And then those behavioral automations that happen automatically, as long as you turn them on, you can kind of see the system is communicating with your leads, trying to get them to communicate back to you. All right, Victoria, I think we are ready for any questions that have popped up throughout the webinar.
Perfect. Thank you, Aubin. We do have a few questions here regarding the smart campaigns. And the first one, I believe I can go ahead and answer this. How many campaigns will AJI be mandating? At this time, we are not mandating any campaigns in the system. So So that answers that question. The next one we have, will the campaigns allow us to send photos via email and SMS?
Currently, that is not a feature of KV Core. Again, KV Core is newer to the to the industry, but we are updating every day, and I do believe that is in our roadmap for the next, I want to say, 30 days. It should be on there as a possibility.
Great. Okay. Next question we have. Does the system show you open rate on the auto emails?
It does not, unfortunately, but I can kind of jump down into our dashboard. We're kind of getting our, getting ahead of ourselves, but we can kind of see in our dashboard, which is the first page when you log into KV Core. You can kind of see your activity, some calls, tasks, calendar, if you sync up with that. But you'll see my business. And that way it'll say, hey, me, John Robinson, how am I doing? You've got some, a video that your company can provide, other information. You can kind of see some business velocity of what's going on here, as well as business analytics over here at this bottom section. And this can cover, I'm currently logged in as kind of the head honcho of everything over here, but you'll see coming probably June. We've got the opportunity to see those business velocity again, leads and marketings, some behaviors, transactions, and team performance. And you can kind of see, hey, where are my lead sources coming in from? New, active, client, contract, closed. How many in total of my leads are coming in here? A lead registration by source, some web analytics, the reach of web visitors, your sphere, Facebook, Zillow, other, and your sphere of influence kind of broken down here. So it doesn't necessarily work for that marketing autopilot itself, but we do have some other business analytics that are coming to kind of show you, some great information and some data.
Perfect. That will be great. Next question we have here, as a brand new agent, what is the best advice or strategy to create a database that allows us to use all of the features of KV Core?
That's a really awesome question. Actually, I'm so glad you guys you asked that. The first thing I would do as a new agent is import your sphere. That is anybody your family, your friends. Kind of think it as your online, contact list. Everybody because that's where you're going to get most of most of your business in the first, 6 months to a year, maybe even up to 2 years. So you're going to want to import those sphere into your smart CRM and kind of categorize them. And then you're going to jump into your smart campaign and make sure you're kind of checking out those that work for your business. If you're like, hey, I don't really know what my business looks like yet, that's why we have this KV Core library for you. You'll hop down, you kind of spend you'll spend a decent amount of time in here at first. Don't get discouraged again. If you're like, hey, I've looked through it all, I've read it all, and I'm not sure what's best, feel free to reach out to any of the trainers or support team. We're here to help you. But we've got conversion default seller. So I'd encourage you to turn on a seller, a buyer, at least at first, and then kind of working down through your sphere. Homeowners, most of, I'm sure your parents might be homeowners, grandma and grandpa might be homeowners. And not to say that you're trying to sell them, but you're trying to kind of get them saying, hey, get them talking about your business. Hey, my son or daughter is new to the realtor scene. They sent me this really cool email about, my area, or other, they sent me a CMA. And kind of get them talking to others about your business, which is great, as a beginning agent. But again, you're going to at first want to turn on a seller and a buyer campaign and just kind of start cultivating those. Make sure that you're doing all of your calls for the day. Make sure you're, setting those tasks, finding those things that you need to do. But again, buyer and seller is the most important, I would have to say. And then you can kind of go from there. You can, once they respond to you, you can set them up on search alerts, see when they're ready. You can't really control when they're going to buy, but you can hopefully time it right so they buy from you. And that's what those search alerts and drip campaigns are there for. They kind of time it out right, making sure, we're not being too pushy, but we're being pushy enough to kind of say, hey, I'm here for you. I'm doing all these things for you. Let me earn your business. And then once you get them on search alerts, hopefully they'll kind of be like, hey, I really like this house. I'd like to go see it this weekend. And then you kind of, you're a realtor. I'm sure you've got the great personality to kind of close those deals, and you can go from there.
That's perfect advice. Thank you, Aubin.
Yeah.
Next question here, is the webinar being recorded? Yes, we are recording the webinar right now. I know we've had a few people who showed up late, so we will be sending a recorded version out of this. Next question, will you be adding email open rates so we know who actually got email and opened it? I think we already covered that, Aubin.
Yeah, that is currently not a feature for these campaigns, no.
Okay, perfect. Are there specific training dates we should put on our calendar? Yes, we will be, if you have signed up for KV Core through Allison James, we will be sending out an email at the end of this week with the upcoming training dates. So be on the lookout for that. We do have something scheduled at the first week of April. So that will be coming out.
There also is in this dashboard, we also have that, the training that's specifically for Allison James agents. But if you're like, hey, I'm not sure, you log in, maybe you missed it, you forgot the recording, you haven't gotten the link yet. We do have this daily run webinar. It's a recorded webinar, but it is moderated. So people will be chatting with you back and forth in that questions tab that you guys are using right now. And that runs Tuesday through Friday, every day at 9 a.m. Pacific. So if you missed that or you want additional training, we also have this one as well. That's kind of just off the bat, runs whenever you need it to.
Great. Next one we have here, does the system allow us to bulk upload contacts into KV Core?
Yes, it does. If you pop over down here to the lead engine, we've got this bulk import tool. Currently, you can bulk import, but we kind of request that you work with our support team. They've got the most knowledge on how to do that correctly. But all you have to do is go to lead engine, bulk import, get started, and I can kind of show you what that looks like. So currently, we're only allowing it from a CSV file, but coming soon, we've got Commissions Inc., Boomtown, contactually, 5 Street, everything like that, wherever leads can come from. So, coming soon, we've got a lot of feature updates that are coming with KV Core, but currently CSV file is just fine, and we can help you do that.
Awesome. Okay, great. And let me see here. Is there a way to store email correspondence with a buyer contact in the system?
Yes. All of your leads, no matter if they're from your sphere, all the way down to archived, you've already closed with them, whatever it is, everybody lives within your smart CRM. This is where you have everybody. We've got statuses that are color coded, ratings, activities, what they're interested in, when you've contacted them. All of this great information. But to see a specific leads correspondence, I can kind of click on our test over here, Nick Macy. Hopefully he's been responding. Here we go. So you can kind of see everything that's happened. So this is up to today. So it looks like we've got, added a new campaign for him. Looks like we moved into Sphere because we didn't get in contact with them. Not a big deal. We've also can see the emails. So right here you'll have the hyperlink. Just click that view email button and kind of say, hey, thanks for visiting our site. Are you considering selling your home? All that information right here. While I'm on that page, I know you're talking about buyers or sellers specifically. You can always change that. Just click, buyer, and just click, oh, nope, they're a seller, or they're buying and selling with me, or you know what, they're just renting. Not a big deal. Always change it, no matter what you like.
Perfect. Okay, we also have a question here. Does the platform tell us which buyers are looking at their home searches and how many homes they've clicked on, etc.? So the specific information on what they are looking at?
Yes, it does. So I don't know if you guys saw, I clicked over on my dashboard, that first screen when I log in, but you'll see I've got my activity tab, and you can kind of see all of my leads. We currently store data on this activity tab for like the last 7 days approximately. If you've got a ton of leads rolling in, it may not pull, the full last 7 days, but you can always check, specific names. You can filter by dates, any statuses that you're looking for, or a particular lead in general. But you also get a high overview of, okay, what are they looking at? So we've got Diego here. He's been on his desktop. He looked at this specific property once on his desktop, once on his mobile device, 17 hours ago. This address, you can email, call, or even text about this property right here. This heart shows that he has favorited it, so it is, kind of more important to him than maybe ones that he's just kind of browsing over. You can see he's, viewed it twice in the last 17 hours. You also see Diego's looked at this property and saved it twice. We've got Bob over here. Bob's got a question. Again, this is dummy data, so it's probably the same people all over and over again. But you'll see, oh, Bob's requested a showing. We want to respond to that. But you can also filter by, okay, this is a lot of information. I'm kind of overwhelmed, not sure what to do. Okay, instead of all activity, I want to say, okay, I'm going to get to my showing request first. Okay, Bob, Super Dirk, Bob, and Nick have all requested a showing. I can handle those. Then you can jump over to questions if people have asked a question about a specific property. Or, hey, I'd like to put my house on the market. There's a bunch of things that can happen. And then you can also just filter by property views themselves. So there's great options of filtering to kind of make sure you get the exact view that you want, so it's not too overwhelming, and you're seeing everything that you need at that time.
Neat. Okay, thank you, Aubin. Next question we have here, will KV Core integrate with SkySlope?
Yes, if we jump down over to the marketplace, I believe it's not quite yet, but that is in our plans. The marketplace, we currently are working with Dotloop. We are fully integrated with Dotloop if you have that. But we've got Brokerment coming as well as SkySlope coming. Nosy Neighbor, Listing Machine. You can purchase buyer leads, through us, kind of do advertising, seller leads, and then a live chat assistant is also coming. So you can kind of see we're always improving KV Core, kind of get those things rolling for you to make sure they're fully integrated, working properly, so you can run your business all in one place.
Awesome. Okay, and then we have a few questions here. If you have signed up for the KV Core platform and you are an Allison James agent, you will be receiving your login information on April 1st. So I know we've had a few questions about that. It is coming very soon. And I think that is it for our questions, Aubin. Would you like to, I know we've been over quite a few things in here, but would you like to do a short overview?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Okay, so jumping back to our dashboard, again, this is that front page where you log in every day. It's kind of got the most important kind of day-to-day information. But you'll see we've got the company announcements. Currently, we just got that training link going. So once you get your login information, you've already gone through the training and you want a little bit more, you just click on that, pick a time that's best for you. We also have today's summary. So kind of what the system has scheduled for you today. So we've got 28 inbound, meaning people have requested showings. There's been text messages, questions going on. We've got 2 calls to make today, as well as 8 tasks to complete. You also see we've got these quick actions. So like, hey, I need to hurry and do something. I don't have time to, bounce around these tabs. You can hurry and add a contact, make a phone call, notes, tasks, send an email, or even create a blog post right from these quick action buttons. We also have emails that have come in, some notifications, or recent activity. All you have to do is click on it. Oh, wrong button. Click on it, and up will pop all of the recent activity that's kind of happened within your account. You can also, again, see our activity that we've already covered. And then this part has the calls, tasks for your entire time of your account. So you can kind of see I'm a little bit behind in my demo account. We've got 310 past due calls, but you just click on it and up will pop all those calls. Like, hey, I didn't make this call on purpose. I'm going to snooze those and it'll make, send it for the next business day. Or you can hurry and call right from here. So again, you don't have to go into the Smart CRM, find that lead. It's all right in your system. It'll also be in your KV Core mobile app. Again, we also see, due today, those 2 calls kind of gives you a little more information about those. They haven't been contacted in 30 days, which is why we're reaching out. And then also if you've got, zeros, goose eggs over here, like, hey, I'm feeling pretty good. I've got some time on my hands. Let's see what upcoming calls I have, and you can kind of make those already. We also have tasks right here. Again, send a text or email with properties in this area for my test lead 5. Again, you can snooze it to the next day or mark it as complete. Also, we currently are syncing up with Google Calendars. Opportunity to say, oh, check in with Antonio about his application, or do all these other things that are going on that work with your Google Calendar. So again, you can just run all of your business from one tab. And then we've also talked about the My Business tab that will have company information if you had it, any business velocity that's going on. And then jumping up here, which I think is really, really important, we've got our profile. So you'll see a lot of things in here. Currently, I think the most important is my profile. We'll click that, and this is where I can edit my phone number if it changed, edit my email if I've gotten a new one, a little upgrade for being a realtor. I can add my social media profiles, put an About Me section, add a signature, which I highly encourage you to do. Make sure, hey, I'm a part of this team, or I'm a part of this office, kind of see what's going on there. But here, you click the edit button. You can change your name if you've got a longer name and you go by a shortened name. You can add a title when you joined. This is your MLS ID, which you'll want to add. And then you can also see, hey, that's my work phone, but I don't want it to show on the site, or that's my home phone number. I don't want my family to be getting my business calls. Don't have it show on the site, whatever you prefer. You'll also see that we've got this little settings cog. If you click on that, you can place yourself on vacation. You no longer have to be like reaching out to your broker, just being like, hey, I'm leaving on vacation for a week. Don't send me any leads. I'm not going to be able to follow up. Click of a button, easy as that. Again, we've talked about this whole time behavioral automation. You can auto create calls each day, which we have a default set to on, which I highly encourage you to leave on. That kind of helps, the system helps you decide who should be called. But also if you're like, hey, I've got my own way of doing things, you can turn it off. You can also do it for weekends as well. You can set how many number of calls the system creates for you. It's defaulted to 10. You can change it anywhere from 1 to, I think it's 1,000, free-form box, but the default is set to 10. The system will also email each agent at a set time in the morning. Say, hey, this is kind of your overview of what you need to do today. You can early risers, 6 a.m., late risers, I work half day, 12 p.m., whatever you'd like, to kind of make sure that your day is set how you would like it. We also can have the system work for you on holidays. So, hey, you know what? I don't work New Year's Day, but I do work Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I do work Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Columbus Day. So that way the system kind of keeps you up going, gives you those calls on those certain holidays that you might want to work. And those are kind of the agent settings I think are really, really important. You also have the ability for like, hey, I like my password, but I'm updating, my systems, time for a change. You also have these actions right here to change your password. You don't have to type in your old password. It gives you your username, and then you can change your own password. There also is a forgot password button as soon as you log into KV Core, so don't feel like, oh crap, I always have to remember it. No, just like me, I never remember any of my passwords. There is a forgot password button. All right, jumping down to our Smart CRM. We've kind of gone over this a bit, but we can see we've got all this information about all of our leads. It separates them by statuses, color coding, any ratings. Say, they're a really hot lead, I'm gonna give him a 5-star. And then you can also mass email, mass text, do all of these actions in bulk. Say you want to transfer a contact because they're a Spanish speaker and you're not. All you have to do is find the lead you want to transfer and say, hey, I'm going to transfer them to a particular agent, and off it goes. You can also share a contact if you're kind of, co-listing a house. You can share the contact. You can even do the permissions of view and edit. So they can add notes, they can change the campaign, do whatever. Or you can send it as a view only. Say, hey, I'm a new agent and I just want to get my broker's opinion on what I should do. You can share that lead as a view only. Again, we've also got these really, really awesome features for filters. You can filter by any of your statuses, who the owner of it is, if they have a lender attached to them, lead details, what the lead type is, what stars rating did we give them, what are the hashtags that we've used on these people, anything like that, when were they created, and again, this really, really awesome, behavioral filter. So by them coming on your subdomain, you've got all these behaviors that you can look at. Did they save a property? When's the next call scheduled? Did they request a showing in the last, yesterday, 7 days, last year? Did they request a showing? And I want to follow up on, on my old agents or my old leads. You've got all these opportunities for behavior, as well as, the standard property interests, such as price range, location, or beds and baths. And you can even save these filters. Every Tuesday you're going to do, request a showing, or, whatever it's going to be for that, a specific day. You can always save those filters. You can do hot leads, whatever you want. But if it's a one-time search, click apply filters, and you'll see that kind of change right here. Over in the listings tab, this is all of the listings within your MLS. So instead of having to hop back to the MLS, back to your CRM, over to your email, you've got the opportunities right here. So again, this is dummy data, so it kind of looks a little funky at some places, but we can look at this Oakland Valley Road, and we can kind of see, oh, we saw the city, we saw how much it was, and then if you click into it, it gives you all of the details. So, oh, it's a multifamily property, 6 beds, 4 baths, how big is it, details about it, photos, a map of where it is, and then some really awesome features is similar listings. Okay, maybe my lead, like this house, but they want something, a little bit different, but, same look. Okay, we're going to go into similar listings, and it's going to pull up some similar listings, where they are, the price, and how many times your leads have viewed them. You can also do nearby listings. Hey, I really like this house, but maybe is there something closer that's a little bit better to, fit my needs? Okay, how far away are they? What's the price? What city are they in? And then you can also check view activity. So from right here, okay, I've got 0 of my leads have looked at this property, but I've seen a guy who's got 138 of his leads in the Smart CRM have looked at a single property. From there, all he has to do, he can mass click doing that, or, singularly click on each contact, mass email, mass text, send it to a specific hashtag, do whatever you'd like. You can also send via email right here, or any of these features right here. We're moving a little fast, I know. I just want to make sure we are sensitive to the time. We did cover marketing autopilot, so I'm going to skip that one for now. But then dropping down to lead engine. This is where your landing pages, squeeze pages, your lead Dropbox from any lead sources are, as well as the CMA builder, bulk import, and call capture, such as smart text codes or anything you'd want. With KV Core, you guys get unlimited landing pages and unlimited squeeze pages. So build as many as you want for as many properties or categories, criteria that you want. The sky is the limit on here. And these are completely free. So unlimited, free, what can be better than that? But you've got these landing pages, squeeze pages. We did cover that in a different call, so I'm not going to go too in depth on those, but it takes 5-10 minutes to set a really good landing or squeeze page. I feel like lead Dropbox is pretty important. So you can choose any leads where they're coming from. I know we talked about some other places before, like importing via a CSV file, but rather than doing that, you can kind of sync them in your Dropbox. So I'm John Robinson, and I'm the agent, and I'm using Realtor.com to get some leads. So I'm going to copy this email, and I'm going to go to my Realtor.com account. I'm going to paste this email as it forwards my leads to it. So those leads come directly to my Smart CRM, so I can set them on some campaigns, set them on search alerts, and get it all done in one tab rather than kind of bouncing back and forth between all the different tabs, different pages. Again, we integrate really well with Zapier. Zapier is a tool. It is a separate tool, but once you get them set up, all of your leads can start going in or out of KV Core with Zapier. We can also talk about that in a different training once we kind of get things going when Allison James has launched with KV Core. We also integrate with a Zillow True Key. All you have to do is copy it, take it over to Zillow, and off you go. If you're like, hey, you know what, sometimes I use a different email to do my work, and I want to make sure those notes get sent over into my, my lead timeline. We do have an email that you guys can use for that. Just BCC your personal email into your other email account to make sure those notes get added. We kind of make sure we cover our bases to make sure all that information, all that data is all in one section, so you don't have to go crazy looking around for it. The last thing I want to spend about a couple minutes on is web and IDX. With KV Core and Allison James, you guys get your own subdomains, and you guys can kind of customize them. So I am in as Aubin in my KV Core account, and I can edit my settings right here. I can kind of go here and I can change my background photo. I can make that photo a video if I'd like on my subdomain. Or I've got a really great picture that I've taken myself and I want to use. You can do that here in your website settings. When people come to your subdomain, we have them register to look at photos. That way you guys can capture those leads, make sure you're following up with them, kind of fitting their needs. But you also have the opportunity to mandate the phone number instead of just kind of suggesting. You can say, hey, you know what, I want to make sure I get a valid phone number so I can call these people and have a talk with them. You can change just about anything on your site. There are a few things that are templated, but you've got custom header, body, any footers if you've got disclaimers that you want to add. If you want to hook up your Facebook Messenger to use as a chat function, just put your Facebook username right here. Save it, and it'll link. So anytime somebody clicks on the Hey, Chat Me button, it'll go to your Facebook Messenger, and you've got that immediately. You can also change your template. We've got two separate website templates. Our Hero is our most updated template, which I think it looks really awesome. You can also change the color theme for your template. And this is where I was talking about having a background video YouTube ID rather than having a background photo. You're like, hey, you know what? I don't use chat. Hide the chat widget. Yeah, I don't want that. Again, you can see all these different options that we've got. If you want to see, those website analytics a little better, if you have a Google Analytics ID, just throw that here, and you can kind of see that for your subdomain. Again, you kind of see, hey, you know what? I don't do land or commercial real estate, but I do all the rest of these. You can kind of specify which listings and property types you show on your own subdomain. You're going to see how it default sorts, all these awesome information that you can personally change for your own subdomain. Make sure I got everything in Web and IDX. I know that was really fast, guys, but there are a lot of great tools that KV Core has for you. Again, it's really automated. Once you set it up, you really don't need to go back in and mess around with it again. The system should start working for you. We've got testimonials. You can specify service areas that you're using, or create custom pages if you want to go somewhere, route it somewhere else. Again, blog posts. A lot of people are, kind of getting the full, conference of getting everybody. Start making a blog, attaching it to your subdomain so people can kind of see, hey, this is a great person, rather than, mailing out those, those cookie recipes that you've got. Put it on a blog post, see what you can get, and kind of track, the comments that come in. Hey, great recipe, I tried it, or whatever you'd like. We've got all these possibilities right here for you. All right, I hope that was not too fast and you guys got a little bit out of that overview. But again, Allison James is such a great company. KV Core is so excited to partner with them, and I hope you guys are too. A lot of tools that can be used, a lot of features. But again, you don't have to go crazy. You can just set it up, forget it, and make the system work for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Aubin, for hosting today's webinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If there were any questions that we did not get to during our Q&A session, we will make sure to send you a follow-up and get those answers out to you. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.